Have you ever thought about using trading bots? I used Bitsgap in the last bull market and turned $1,000 into $50,000 within a 5-month period. I documented the whole process and put it in a playlist if you want to see that, along with other training videos and tutorials how to set bots up and make the most of the volatility of the crypto market. If you sign up with a link in the description, you'll get a 7 days free trial with no obligation to continue, and you can also use a demo account within Bitsgap so you don't have to risk your own capital. Bitsgap. Good morning, everybody. Let's have a look at these charts on a Sunday. Decent day, I suppose, to try and re-establish some kind of projection for the following, for the week to follow. Bitcoin failing to give it up, should I say? That's a negative way to put it. Refusing to give up the trend. Very happy to see this getting supported on a 21 and then a 20. See, on the live stream, and I think I said it yesterday, like sometimes I have to force myself to make a decision, or at least put it out there so people who are listening to me, you know, because everyone wants some form of answer or someone to, you know, reaffirm their own position, really. I always have this thing where I say, look, if there's a gun to my head, which way is it going to go? I have to decide, you know, because it's all, I always base every trade on risk to reward. So, you know, sometimes the risk and the reward aren't particularly great. And I'd say that that is more or less the case here on the short term still. But the gun to my head, I always say, all right, there's a gun to my head, make the trade. And I have been saying it's a buy the dip market. So the dips have been bought, that got bought, these got bought. And at the moment, we're above a 10 exponential, which appears to be getting bought, even on a Sunday, which is usually a pretty lame day for trading crypto. So it's all getting bought. So maybe I need to employ somebody to hold a gun to my head and actually make this theoretical way of trading a reality, because I'd definitely have more money if there was a gun to my head. But even so, there's only a couple of trades. To be fair, the only real trade that I have entered into heavily, and this is a little bit of a wild card, is XDC. Now, I'm not suggesting any of you sort of pick this up. I just like the way that it looks, and again, I base everything on risk to reward. And the risk to reward on this one does seem quite good. In fact, you know, outside of this big wick here, which actually, you know, was bought straight back up, which is very bullish to see something like that happen. You know, at the moment, we're creeping back up above all major moving averages as well, similar to Bitcoin. But the risk to reward on this one is huge. You know, even down here where I would add to my position, I'm not looking to sort of get out of this this at all. I've had 3 buys in this, incremental buys on this one, and they're almost all about to be in profit now. So obviously I'm making profit on it, but if this one takes off in the way that I think it's going to do, I actually believe it to really push hard. And I know what people are thinking about this. They'd be looking at this going, oh, XDC, what are you talking about? Don't you know it's a centralized coin? I'd be like, I could trade a chart which basically refers to people flushing their toilet, you know, after 12 at night. You know, if there's rhythm to it, I will trade it. It doesn't mean that I'm bullish on toilet flushes. It just means that there is some sort of rhythm to be traded here, and at the moment on this chart there is rhythm to it. So again, I'm not, you know, I like crypto, but I'm not one of those people that, you know, is a fundamental crypto believer. Like, don't get me wrong, I like it a lot, but I'm not one of those people that walks around on a normal day talking about it and how it's going to change the world. I trade the charts based on what I see, just like I would trade any charts. I trade traditional markets almost as much as crypto, but no one's really particularly bothered about that, so I don't talk about it. And also crypto, from a spot trading perspective, it can be pretty lucrative, as we all know. And so I would be looking for this one to make a big, powerful move on. Now, I've alluded to it in the past. It's not an unreasonable thing to say, is that it more or less is going to trade with XRP. And I still believe XRP to be one of the better charts in crypto. You know, you might not feel that way, but it is. You know, it's constructive. It's got a cycle behind it. It's making higher highs and higher lows since back down here, and the highs, when they go, they're pretty significant. So yeah, it's not a bad thing to have a coin that trades alongside it, because I believe in XRP as well. As far as its chart is concerned, is it going to be the new world currency? I don't know about that. But what do I see? I see a chart progression based on a 10-year history, which is basically fulfilling its destiny, which is to go on to make a new all-time high this time round. So XDC is one of those charts. I really do strongly feel that we're going to see a big move up, maybe over the next week or two. Initially, a move of around 40%. Look, I'm looking at this on a weekly, by the way, so just be prepared. This is a weekly chart I'm looking at. 40% initially, then back up to this wick high, 80%, and then after that, probably be looking for this high over here of around 13.5 cents, 152. That's what I'll be looking at. And look, if it breaks there, then great. But, you know, what we also see, just like XRP, is that thou giveth, thou taketh away. So big move up, consolidation, big move up, consolidation. So the sharp move up, and then the longer drawn out consolidation. So this isn't, for me, like a major hodl. In fact, I don't intend to hodl this at all. When you're talking about these types of cryptos like XRP, like Algorand, like XDC and XLM and HBAR, they more or less are all the same sort of thing. So if I'm going to hodl some, I'll hodl sort of the ones that I prefer, which would be, I suppose, XRP just through association because I trade coin futures with it frequently, and Algorand. Surprisingly, I do like Algorand, even though the chart is horrendous, and I'm quite savagely underwater from my initial purchase of around 30 cent. I mean, even my second purchase of around 16 cents is underwater. So I'm hodling that just through pure desperation, but I do believe in it. So what we're looking at here is a nice big move. Let's have a look at the momentum on this one. So the MACD is above the 0 point, which is always a good sign for when it does turn up, it actually catapults. Better than turning up below the 0 point. You know, we see these things here, big catapult up. No, not really, just a rejection on the 20. And again, you know, we were basically crossed up the entire time in an accumulation fashion until we get to the 0 point when we finally make a breakout. So we're above the 0 point. A breakout from here would actually be significant. Money flow index is sitting comfortably down here at 44, which would allow for a nice big move back up into the outer limits of above the 90 range. So plenty of room to run on this one, which is why I'm quite confident we're going to see a run at least up to this wick high, and you know, top target would be a brand new high over here. Let's have a look at the daily then to see how healthy she looks. Because again, the trading volume is quite small as well on this one, comparative to you know, other altcoins trading at like 500,000. Which, you know, obviously I'd like to have that in my back pocket, 500,000, but it's not much when you think about order books, and it's also not, this isn't across many platforms really to trade XDC, nothing like Binance, and so the volume is probably going to be largest on KuCoin, so that's as big as it's going to get. That's a benefit when, if and when this starts to rally or becomes popular, because you're effectively at the top of the Ponzi scheme, really. You've bought when no one wanted it, and then when everybody wants it, the green candles come fast and furious, because smaller amounts of money that comes into a lower volume chart like this does allow for much larger moves, and so that's what I'll be looking for. Currently, we're fighting around this Bollinger Band center. Once you've broken that, it's basically ripe for the move. There's nothing on the itchy cloud on here on the on the daily to say that it's gonna definitely do that. Not at this stage yet. But the 4 hourly golden cross on simples and exponentials managed to gain mostly support on the simples. We're above all of them now. We're about to get every moving average in the correct position, probably by the end of the day, provided we hit this and stay above this level. Itchy cloud is quite close to generating a pump signal, very close to it. We want to see a candle body on the 4 hourly close above 5.45 cents. You get a pump signal crossing up above the 0 point here on the MACD. No bearish divergence on this portion of the uptrend really, so I'm looking for this to actually materialize into a larger, more aggressive completion of this, well, like I say, third wave of uptrend really. Again, I'm not going to pretend that Bitcoin and Ethereum won't have an effect on this, which is why we always have to have a look at these guys before we start. And again, it doesn't look too bad, I have to say. It's neither here nor there. It's not exactly 50-50, but it's not too bad. Same thing with Ethereum. It's not too bad. We can come down a little lower and then catapult back up. So I'm actually looking for, you know, all of this to work out probably at some point next week. Recognizing also that the Dixie was hit pretty hard over last week, continuing to sink down, broken down now below this major support zone, this 105.3, and now we're sitting 103.8, which is unbelievable to see such a chaos dip. The dip could take us to 103.6, which would be a portion of a golden cross retest. But look, there's more to this chart than just its own chart. We look at all the other aspects of this now. So we've got the CPIs and inflation data, which is actually coming through quite well. We've got high interest rates, which are not likely to be put up any further. If anything, they might get put down, which is good. We've also got the battle of all the other central banks who are not in the same favourable position as the US. So you've got all of that as well. So yeah, I mean, as much as I do see a bounce taking place from here, it's clearly at this stage now a chaotic downtrend. I would like to see it bounce a little bit, to be fair, but I don't think it's going to. I think what we're going to start to see now is actually a bit of a tear up in all markets, and it won't happen immediately, but it's primed for major rallies, I would say, across S&P, stocks, commodities also, as we can already see that really. Crypto maybe through association, but it all looks good. And so, long story short, yeah, this is an XDC video, but in all of crypto, it still does look like it's a buy the dip market. And as I was saying in yesterday's video, it's similar to the way that 2021 began, where Bitcoin sort of meandered around and kind of consolidated from like a major sort of top in the market around 41,000, consolidated to the tune of 30%, and altcoins actually, the dips were bought on altcoins and they rallied on to make serious highs. That's, I think, similar to what we're looking at right now. I'm going to put my money on it that that's how this market's going to play and evolve over the next few weeks. Outside of the next few weeks, we still have to be careful, but I'm looking for major continuation on altcoins, to be fair. So if you want to know more about all of this, join the Patreon, even if it's just to support the channel. But if you did join it, you get 2 live streams a week, Tuesdays and Fridays. And it's only £7.50 a month, so you can't really complain with that. Other than that, I hope you have a nice day and take it easy.